My name is Margaret Gray, and this is Rainy Tuesdays.
Hi guys, today I'm here with Adam
Hello.
and Ryan.
Hi there.
How you guys doing?
Been doing pretty
Doing good in the very, very cold weather that we have
Yes.
over in the Midwest.
-2.
We were talking about earlier, it's -8 in Iowa, and it feels like -26, so a bit dicey.
I don't know if I could even continue living. I think all of my insides would freeze and I would just die. I don't think it's possible.
What you need to do is you just go outside with a coat and a shovel, and you just shovel your way through the snow to get where you're going.
I just stay inside.
or stay inside with like hot chocolate.
Yeah.
A blanket.
Or you go outside with the hot chocolate and throw it at the snow to clear the way.
Oh my god.
Do you have like a coffee maker with you that's like it spits out hot coffee in front?
I do feel like a pandemic is the perfect time for cold to be a thing. Because you're staying inside anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Not a fan. But what have you guys been up to?
Not much. I'm trying to plan a camping trip in May. Because,
Ooh.
a ton of camping. Because I'm going to go to an internship, at the end of May. So, sort of between when school ends and my camping trip, I'm trying to get some friends together to go camping.
That'll
be nice. Because
Yeah.
a lot of campsites want reservations now. So.
Right. That makes sense. That'd be cool. That'd be a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we've talked about it before, but I don't think I could camp. I think I'd need to do the glamping thing. Or maybe one night of camping, but then an immediate shower, because I'm just not equipped emotionally.
The emotional toll is too much.
Yeah, of not being in dirt and not showering. I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Do you have a fear of being murdered out in the woods?
I mean, yeah, there's also that, but I have that fear within a home too. That's just a constant fear, right?
Okay, I was talking to a friend about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I don't ever want to go camping out in the woods because I feel like I get murdered. It's like, I go camping so much, and that has never been a thought of mine.
Yeah, you bring that up now. I don't think I've ever thought that. I've been camping only a couple times, but I've never considered that either. Of man, I should really worry about axe murderers in these woods. I always been the biggest fear is you're just gonna be gross. Maybe you see an animal, but that's really unlikely unless you're
bugs.
Yeah, bugs would be my biggest fear. There's a centipede or something in the tent.
That's gross too. Almost as gross as a murderer, but just
almost.
A centipede with an axe.
Oh, that's the worst fear. Oh my god.
Would it have one axe or 100 axes?
100 tiny
100 little itty bitty axes.
Oh, okay. It's gotta have only 98 because it needs 2 legs to move. Anyway.
Or it uses axes and uses some axes as feet, and the other axes are when you're climbing and use axes to climb into the ice.
Mm-hmm.
So he just does that with axes on the ground, so then he can have 100 axes.
That's very
and
cute.
if it's walking on your skin, then it's digging all 100 in. Perfect crime.
Well, it went from something horrific to very adorable back to scary.
You gotta loop. You gotta hit all those beats.
Right. Are you guys afraid of murderers in life though? At all ever?
I feel I don't know, not out in the wilderness because I feel it's too big and you really don't see anyone out in the wilderness. But I don't know. I guess I've never really thought about it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really. There's been a couple times when I was in Rome. There's a couple times I was like, man, the mafia's around here, and I'm out at 2, 3 a.m. This could get dicey. But even then, it's not really a fear.
I guess that's true. Anytime I'm outside late at night, I guess I get sort of nervous because everyone at night just seems creepy.
That's fair. Yeah. I'll take it. Oh my god. fair enough. Happy anniversary. I already said it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're recording this exactly a year after we recorded our first episode. That's
Look
exciting.
at us.
I know.
1 whole year of this podcast.
That's cute. Oh my god. Yeah. Maybe in the future we'll be able to do it again all in one room. But you know.
Hopefully, yeah.
There's that
Maybe.
too of like we've done 1 year of this, but almost all of it has been online.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We only had our first, I don't know, 8 or so episodes when we were all together.
Yeah, maybe that. Well, because I know that we doubled up on a few. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember I went back and like watched one of the first quarantine like online ones, and we're like, oh
Yeah.
man, hopefully soon we'll be back in person. And it's like,
I
oh,
know.
those people were
Ooh.
so naive.
I
So
know.
idealistic.
Oh, it's so funny. Especially the ones like right before we went on quarantine. There's like 2 episodes that we did,
Mhm.
and those ones are like so sad to listen to now because it's like, oh, like spring break.
I remember too talking about COVID on the podcast.
yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
one of my pet peeves of people talking about COVID all the time because there's so much misinformation at the start. And now I think about that every now and again of like, man, I sound like such an idiot.
Yeah, same here. I complained about people wearing masks. I was like, yeah, it's not that big a deal. And it's like, oh, now everyone must wear masks. It's like,
Yeah.
never mind. Previous Ryan was not informed.
But
No.
that's the thing that that goes into the whole misconceptions thing. Is especially at the beginning of this, there were so many just weird things about it, where it was like, you didn't really think it was gonna happen here. Like
Yeah.
it was like, oh, that's like a problem, in other countries, but it couldn't happen here.
Mhm.
And then it was like, oh, like it's no worse than the flu, so it's not actually something to be scary about. Like it's, and then it actually happened here, and it's far worse than the flu.
Yeah.
And it's not fun.
And what's interesting too is like with the mask thing, I remember because I was watching a video about like when the pandemic first started, they were saying like, hey, you shouldn't wear masks because like masks should go to the doctors that actually
Right.
need them. And so it was like,
Yeah.
no one should be wearing masks. And now it's like, okay, everyone must be wearing masks.
Right. And I do still think it's the whole like, I think it was just like a weird miscommunication thing in
Yeah,
the beginning.
'cause
It was
I don't
like,
think-
just don't take like the N95s.
Yeah,
Like don't take
that's
the
pretty
actual
much-
medical grade ones.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like make your cloth ones and like wear those. Which now they're saying double mask. I don't know if you guys are double maskers, but I've been double masking.
Yeah. And also, I think part of it too is like not understanding mask. You don't wear the mask to protect yourself. You wear it not to spread it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like, even if like, so I barely leave the apartment. Like it's far less than once a week. Like it's maybe once or at most twice a month, and it's not really to go like to a lot of places. It might just be like a quick like grocery run, or like hiking out in the nature away from people. So it's like I don't go out that much, and so I can say confidently, I don't have COVID, because like how would I have gotten it? But it's
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like, even still, there's no chance I'm going out without masks, because it's like, what if I like caught it from touching like mail and have no signs or symptoms, and so it's one of those things where it's like, just do it. Like
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. I didn't mean to go into pro math, but also it's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that you still see people who are like, I'm not going to wear a mask, especially now during the winter where it's like,
Yeah.
it's honestly nice to wear a mask because
Exactly.
it's an extra layer and it's something to protect you against the cold. You're still like, I'm not going to do it. Why?
Yeah.
100% about me just being a little cold person. Like, I adore masks in the winter because like especially my nose gets cold, but now it doesn't
Mhm.
because it's under a mask.
Yeah.
Oh my god, goes from just a rant to an advertisement for masks. That's how we should do it. We should have infomercials for masks.
Like
my god.
like in WandaVision.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my god. What a time. But yeah, it's been a fun year. For the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't say that about many things in the past year.
One positive at least.
Yeah. It's been exciting. But yeah, so we started it with, and so this is going to be a really loose transition. Also go back to our roots.
Not that we've really improved much on our
We've had
transitions.
a solid, I'm sure of it. So we started it, like our very first episode was like a relationship-y one, and like love, because we were recording it on Valentine's Day, right? So now I want to do self-love, self-care. Just turn it back around. Yeah, that was my transition into self-care episode. Oh my god. I think it was better than some of ours, for sure.
Yeah.
There's been some rough ones for sure. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
I'll take it. That's way better than I thought I'd get. Oh my god. Yeah, so I was looking around, trying to find some fun things to talk about. Because at first I was like, I want to do like a good news episode. But then there wasn't enough good news.
Yeah, that's true.
Care of ourselves, but it's true. So I was writing down like good news things on my whole podcast topics thing, and I only found 3 things, and one of them's a subsection of another thing. But yeah, so we'll get to those at some point. I won't start with that. We'll save that. But yeah, so then I was like, well, I'll just turn it into self-care and just try to make ourselves happy, even if there's no good news. So yeah, there's a few different sites. Some of these are like a little hokey. I looked up ones that were like free, because I feel like there's this is commentary, but I feel like there's a lot of self-care things that are like spend $1,000.
Yeah.
A better person. Like, that's not true. Yeah, so these are all either free or extremely low cost, and that's exciting. And I kind of just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on them, see if you guys do any of them, see if you hate them. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out some things about each other.
I'm interested to see what possible self-care technique I could hate.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. When someone's like, meditate for a half hour every day, and I just fly into rage.
Visceral reaction. You're just,
I don't have that time.
Honestly, legitimate complaint, because I've had that advice for meditate, and I'm like, I don't really have time to like. I could probably carve out time, but it is rough to be like, whole half hour.
I try not to do like that. Like if I'm doing like meditation or like Tai Chi, I try to set like 5 minutes. And it's an excuse I used for like working out when I was starting to work out. Is it's like if I do something for 5 minutes, I can convince myself to do it for 5 more. So it's like with working out, that's the thing where you want to keep going. But like with meditating, it might be the thing where you're like, oh, I'll do it for 5 minutes. Nice. I did 5 minutes, and then you might stop. But like you could also be like, I could probably do 5 more minutes if you wanted. So yeah, so there's a lot of them that are like just taking time to like find your own way to relax through like a media type of thing. So it's like read a book or like watch a movie or TV or listen to a podcast or like do other stuff like that, which I feel like is great. But I also do feel like it can be a slippery slope. Thoughts?
Okay. I'm curious to see what you mean by slippery slope. Like you're always
I
reading
suppose-
a book.
Well, yeah.
I think of that for like TV or video
Yeah.
games. Like it could
That's true,
become
yeah.
a problem where you're not doing
Dude.
anything other than that. Like I know people who have gotten addicted to video games,
Mhm.
so that can definitely become a problem if you're
Right.
not watching how much you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's not so much that, although that is absolutely a concern, but also just like I feel like the perfect self-care thing needs to be a thing that can also exist in your routine. Um and so it's like for me personally, like I watch TV like while I do things, right? Um and that's more so because I can't sit still and just watch TV, but also because it's like if I were to just watch TV, then I think I could convince myself like, oh, I need to know what happens in the next episode, and the next episode, and the next episode, and like not get to the work I actually need to do.
Hmm.
Um, like there are times where it's like if I'm in like a YouTube rabbit hole or something, I'll be like, I can only watch one more video because then I need to like like move on and like do something productive. Yeah, I think that's what I mean by slippery slope. Because it's like that's not like a definite ending. I guess with a book it is. But then what if there's a sequel? You have it. It's right there.
What's stopping you?
Nothing. You just read for days. Oh
We haven't seen him. He started reading a series.
oh my god. Yeah. Oh, this is a side note, but it was a hot topic on New Year's Eve for me. One of my friends, she made a goal, and she makes it every year to read 50 books. Like she wants to read 50 books each year. She read 50 books in the year, and she was finishing the last one on New Year's Eve. But 6 of them were books she had already read before. Does that count?
Ooh, I think so.
That's what I think.
I would say I've probably not read 50 books in my lifetime. I'm not a big reader.
Really?
So, yeah, currently the book
50
I'm
books
reading
is a
right
low
now
number.
is Origins of the Modern World. It's a good read. Talks about, world history. Page
Oh, you're
turner
really
right
about
there.
to say it's about the origins of the modern world.
Yeah,
Right.
got all the best countries in there, like Europe and Asia. Those aren't countries, those are continents.
All
Not
the
that
best
far yet. I
countries
don't know
seems
the
to not
difference
name
yet.
it. I haven't learned the difference.
That's the next chapter.
Mhm. But I would say to that point, I don't think it matters. I think if you reread like the same 50 books, you still read 50 books.
Yeah, yeah, I would think the same. Like you're still reading a whole book. It's not like you're skipping or skimming or something. Like you're still reading it, so it doesn't really
Mhm.
matter if you. It doesn't have to be new.
That's fair. My
Oh.
thing was like, so long as you weren't rereading them within the year, because then it's technically only 54. Yeah. If
But you're
they're
still going through a whole book,
at it,
like cover to cover.
I feel like they do have to be 50 different books, but it's fine if you've read them like the previous year. I feel like that's where I draw the line. There was like a spectrum of thoughts on this. Like some of my friends were like, absolutely not, that doesn't count. You still have 6 books to read.
Better get moving.
Yeah. She was reading the 50th on New Year's Eve. And
Cutting it close.
yeah,
Pull
well,
out like little children's books and just
Good
fly
night,
through those real
Moon.
fast.
that was like one of the arguments. They were like, well, if it was just to read 50 books, you could read like the Magic Treehouse books and it'd be fine. And it's
I
like,
was about to say Magic Treehouse. There's probably 50 books there. Just read those.
yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, I just think it has to be 50 different books. It doesn't matter like if you've read them or if they're small or like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think
And I mean, ultimately, it's just whatever you like. Like, you don't need to be like, I'm reading 50 for some exterior reason. It's just for your own enjoyment. So read what you want to read.
definitely. Yeah. Oof. I
I
have
can't believe you haven't read 50 books in your life.
That was probably exaggerating. But, like, I don't read very often. I'm
like,
reading a
in
Witcher
your-
book right now, but like that's going pretty slowly. So
Did you guys have AR?
Have what?
AR.
like an
like-
AR-15. I'm not that country.
AR adjusted reality.
No, it was like accelerated reading or something. It was
Yes,
basically
we had those.
yeah. Okay. Nice.
Like in elementary school.
Right. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like in elementary school and like maybe early middle school, where it was like you read a book and then there was like an online test that you would take about the book, and then you would like get points for reading a book.
I don't know if ours was that in depth. I don't think we had to do quizzes. It was just like, what book are you reading? And then maybe they must have tested us somehow because we were at like different levels.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had like, this is a sixth grade reading
Right.
level. I still don't understand how they
I don't know.
that.
Yeah.
And when it's like a normal book, like if we picked up a book now, what reading level is that? Is it college reading level? Who knows?
Did you always feel fancy whenever it was like a 12th grade book? Or
Yeah,
like,
it's such like a power trip. You're like, oh,
Right.
look at me.
you're like,
I'm only in third grade and I'm reading so far ahead of myself.
I'm literate.
I thought you were gonna say like paper because there's like wide ruled and college ruled. Be like, I'm
Oh.
like, college ruled. I'm an adult.
Do you guys have a preference between the two?
I don't think I've noticed a difference, but I think college ruled makes you seem more special.
There. I know that some people get like upset when you have like wide ruled ones, and I've never been one of those people because for me it's just like, well, I'm just gonna write in it, and that's the end of that. But yeah, I don't know. My sister's one of those people though. She like hates anything that's not college ruled. She's like, it has to be college ruled. All right, but there's some other ones. Okay, well, some of these don't apply to our current times. Some of them are upsetting to think about, like have a fun night out for the weekend, or take yourself out to lunch.
I thought you were gonna be like they're dated, like go down to the dance hall with your dance card and
Oh my god, wait,
catch
that's
a
a
tune or
great
two.
idea. Hang on, I'm gonna look up 1950s self-care.
I don't think they had that concept yet.
Well,
Buy some war bonds.
Support your troops. Do your part for the country. You'll feel better knowing that you're helping a soldier in need.
okay, here's 15 like old timey ideas we need to bring back. Well, a lot of these are also ones that won't be great. Getting your hair done. That I
Is
feel
that
like
an old
is
timey
something
idea?
that's gone away.
Yeah, I think people still do that.
Cooking for enjoyment.
Sure.
I mean, I also
Instead
cook
of-
to survive as well, so
Yeah, that's fair.
I enjoy surviving.
No, then you're nailing it. You're
Yeah.
doing both at once. Taking a bubble bath. Do you guys like baths? Have we talked about baths? I think.
I feel like that's one of the things I've taken a strong stance on.
I assume.
Against, probably. I mean, I don't remember. If I did, I don't remember why I was so strong, but I do prefer showers.
That's fair. I'm one of those people who it's like I love the idea of a bath and it's very, very relaxing. But as soon as I take a bath, the moment I drain the tub, I'm taking a shower. It's not clean. It's just relaxing.
So I don't understand, what does bubbles add to it? Because I feel like I'll be like, there's bubbles on me. I don't like that.
I mean, a combination. So like I know that like if you put like Epsom salts in there and like certain like bubble mixtures, it can add like oil to it, which will soften your skin. And then I think it's also like the smell is nice and relaxing, and also the aesthetic. No one wants to just look at themselves in a tub with water. That wasn't interest for anyone. Like if you have bubbles, it's like, oh, fun. This is a COVID safe one, but not necessarily fun. I don't know. What do you guys think about driving around?
We're
I
treacherous
like-
right now with the snow.
Yeah.
That's fair. Snow is tough.
I like driving around in the summer. Like,
Mhm.
me and my friends would go on drives like around our local lake. And then just in the summer, you got the windows down, you got music playing. It's a good time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a vibe. Do you guys prefer to drive or be driven?
I like to drive. Though I also think I'm like not a bad driver, so.
That's fair.
I don't really drive with people that much. I get anxious when I'm driving and someone else is in the car, so I'd probably prefer to be driven.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I don't like I'm not necessarily like a bad driver. I don't think I'm a bad driver at least. Like I've you know, my cars have blown up, but that hasn't been due to my driving.
Not my fault.
That's just me buying incredibly old cars. But yeah, no, I prefer to be driven because cars make me anxious because sometimes they blow up and that's scary.
If I had a nickel for every time my car's blown up, I would have
I'd
two
have 10
nickels.
What is that quote? Is like, I'm not saying it's a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh god. Some of these are stupid. Man, they did dumb things in the 50s. Well,
Let's
look at the radio.
oh my god.
They had TV then, didn't they?
Oh,
When
they
did
probably
TV,
did.
when was the TV? Maybe a little bit too early. 60s, maybe?
But like in the 30s, people would just like gather around and stare at the radio.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't stare at my screen when I'm listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
Do you guys like, how do you listen to podcasts? Is it like, because I can only listen to podcasts while I'm doing something. Can you
Yes.
just listen to a podcast, or do you have to have something else going on?
I have to be doing something usually.
It's also like podcast specific because some of them I prefer the video podcasts and then some I prefer
Oh yeah, that's true.
yeah, and like because also well like if it's like a video podcast then I'll have it on and then like if I'm doing homework or I'll be like knitting or something like I can't ever just like exist and do things, but that's the same issue as the watching TV thing. Some podcasts get to like as soon as they start like a video podcast, they get too invested in the video part of it, and then you like just can't listen to it because they'll do too many things you need to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is something I'm trying to avoid, and I don't think we've gotten anywhere close to that point. So
No.
No,
I mean, it is helpful that we're all online, because then it's really just our faces, because we can't like
yeah,
mess around in real life. I don't know what we do. I don't know. But the one podcast I've seen, Off Topic podcast by Achievement Hunter, they like go crazy, and it's like a whole production because I don't know, but they have a whole set and everything, and they just do crazy things. Well, I can't really do that online, so
yeah. What I've determined is the 1950s were dumb, and also they didn't have COVID then, so a lot of their things involve other people. Yeah, a lot of them were like throw a dinner party or have friends over or stuff like that, and that's a little rough right now. But anyway, this is not one that I think is a great idea, but it says borrow a friend's dog for the day. Add some responsibilities to your life.
Yeah, I don't see how that's fun. And also, I'm just imagining you steal the dog, be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm borrowing your pet."
Oh my god. Okay. Plan your next Halloween costume. This is
Interesting.
one that I have questions for Adam about because I know you love Halloween,
I do, and I also have not dressed up in years. So
but I know you don't care about dressing up.
I would dress up if
Would
I
you?
could think of a good costume.
Guys, we should all dress up.
See,
I know
what
we're
I
not gonna
do,
see each other for Halloween, but
I have a Captain America costume that I just wear every year, that I've worn since like sophomore year of high school.
how come I haven't seen you in it? I've known you
Yeah,
at least two Halloweens.
I've seen you in it. I don't know
Yeah.
how you, Margo, you haven't.
I
That's a
didn't.
good question. I think I have it here, so.
I'm just saying. Next podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But
Yeah. Do you guys do face masks?
Face masks. Like
Never
a mask
have.
that goes on your face, or
Everyone should do those, but I'm talking about the like like in a 90s cheesy rom-com where the girl walks out with like a green face.
oh, that I don't think I've ever done that.
My
That might
God.
surprise you, but I don't
Oh,
think I've ever done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been intrigued, but I feel like I can't attest. It seems to me that would be a really weird feeling on your face. Like, you know when your face is dry and it kind of feels weird to like move it around, like if it's really dry? It seems like that would be what that is. If there's something on your face and you'd be like, I can't move my face
So
and make facial expressions because it's like shifting the stuff that's on it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it does depend on the face mask. Some of them are like more creams that you just leave on for a little while, and then some of them harden.
Yeah.
So you like actually physically can't move your face. And then that's why you see like in those cheesy movies, they talk like this. Like they don't move their lips at all.
Mhm.
Yeah. After I got my wisdom teeth taken out, that's how I was talking, and I compared it to a face mask to one of my professors. I was like, yeah, sorry. It's like I have a face mask on. Yeah, it's that's fun, I guess. I don't know. Some of them hurt. I don't like those ones. For obvious.
That seems counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Why would it hurt?
For beauty.
Ah,
Well, what I don't understand
gotta look your best.
Yeah.
Make sacrifices so you can look good.
is
Yeah.
like at night, like I do like a skincare routine,
Uh-huh.
like before bed, and like I feel like that sort of does the same thing.
Well, what's your skincare routine?
I have CeraVe that I put on, and then I have like some anti-acne ointment.
Iconic. Yeah.
It doesn't really do much for acne; it just like repairs blemishes.
Fair. Yeah. I think that it's one of those things you're not supposed to do it like every night. It's like a once a week at most kind of thing.
Mhm.
And like I have like giant pores, and so it's like ones that'll like either clean out those or like make them a little tighter.
Yeah.
Or like make your face glowy and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a thing. But one of them that I have, it's like the only semi-painful one that I'll do, because some of them you have to like peel off your face, and those can hurt a lot because you also have tiny little baby hairs on your face, and it's pulling those out too, and that hurts. But there's one that I have, and it's like a clay mask, and you mix it with like apple cider vinegar, and so it does like it has like a little burning sensation, and then your face is red for like 45 minutes after you take it off. But after that, beauty. You're like, wow. And that's exciting. I don't know. People should do more face masks. All right. A lot of these are just too much effort. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for like quick and easy.
Seems paradoxical too to be like a self-care, but you have to put a ton of effort into it.
That's my thing.
I guess like there is a certain amount of effort because it's not just gonna come easy. But if it's supposed to be relaxing, you don't want to like work for relaxing. I guess that seems like an oxymoron.
I think that's true too. Yeah, I also think a lot of people make a lot of fuss about it, and I feel like good self-care should be self-care that works for your schedule. You know, it's like one of those things that you're not having to like completely disrupt your life for. Whereas I know that there's like a big push for like take a whole day for yourself, and it's like who can do it?
A whole day is a lot.
Whole day.
That's a lot of time. I'd have to like work in advance to free up a day to give myself.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's like you need to like fit it in. Don't try to do that. This is one that I do, and this is gonna get y'all mocking me for hippie vibes, but I swear it's good. Is get some essential oil, and then if you put like little dashes of it in your shower before you start your shower, because then it steams up with your shower, and then your shower is so nice and relaxing, and that takes no extra time. It's a good one. That's a fun. Anyway, okay, rearranging your room.
That one takes a lot of work, and like normally I have to like think about it. I'll be like, hey, you know, I don't like where this is. But like my room at home, I've got everything how I want. My room here is very tiny, so
yeah, I was
can't
thinking
really
like
move stuff.
like for a dorm room like you, it can't really move it around. Like I was thinking, my apartment, it's not really a whole lot of rearranging I can do. But I do feel like once you kind of have it in the spot that you want it, like your room at home, that's kind of how it's going to be.
Yeah.
How long do you guys leave your rooms like you do?
Well, my room back home,
Uh-huh.
probably since it's been like that. I don't think I've ever changed it.
Fair.
Well, I moved rooms over the summer, so
Yeah.
and I'm pretty content with how it is. Like, there's nothing I would move because I want a big like space in the middle, so I can like set up VR.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I feel like I change mine twice a year. Yeah.
That's a lot.
But it's also fun.
Do you
Sure.
have one of those things where like the way your bed faces is like a certain direction, so that way like you get good vibes from it or whatever?
No, it's very much like a. So I have two beds in my room, because it's like, it's ultimately for whenever my sister and I visit, not for me living here because I'm supposed to be in college. But it's, yeah, so it's supposed to be here for like my sister and I to visit. So I have two beds, which, you guys will remember from college, the perfect thing to do with that is to have one day bed and one sleeping bed.
That's right.
So right now I'm in my day bed, which is why I have the different background, and there's a little thing over there, and there's the pictures. The sleeping bed is over there. And yeah, it's I don't know. That's the thing, is I thought about moving them together, and having a giant bed, because I've never had a giant bed, because I've never needed a giant bed because I'm not a giant person. Like, I feel like I can fit in like a child bed and be fine. But yeah, so I thought about putting them together and then having fun with that. But one of my beds is like 2 inches shorter than the other one, and so I don't want to like roll over and like fall 2 inches in the night because that would be like scary. And that, like, because it's not like a lot when you think about it, but when you're asleep, I feel like it would jar you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like moving it around just because I get bored with it. I think right now though I have to keep, there's like a short little bookshelf that I have, and my cat really likes it next to the window because it's like the perfect height for him to look out the window. So I've got to keep that there. That's the only
Yeah.
stationary thing. Also, I have like another bigger bookshelf, and I think that's just too heavy for me to move easily. So I have like two things that are permanent fixtures. Everything else will move around. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's like a thing people do, right? Like, you reorganize like your space, you like
Mhm.
change your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soul revolutionary thing. I think it's probably the same psychological thing as people changing their hair.
Yeah.
Where you think it's gonna fix something. And
I
it might
was
make you
gonna
happy.
say, I know a person that like would adjust their bed to like point different directions for the seasons.
Oh,
I don't know
Interesting.
why. I guess it was like some
huh.
like astrology thing, maybe. I don't know, but I was like, that's interesting. But just like some change of scenery, I think is always good,
That's fair.
especially now.
All right, this is one that Ryan has done. Paint by numbers.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up when we were talking about self-care stuff, because like I did that over Thanksgiving and I really enjoyed that. And my parents bought me another kit, and I've been like, I don't know if I want to do it yet. Just
For
because
the right time.
it takes so long to do, but like I enjoyed it. Like I watched so many Disney movies while I was doing it, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think that's like a fun thing though, is like having a predetermined craft, and not because like, and maybe it's because I'm like not creative enough as a person, but I don't like free painting or drawing or anything as like a relaxing thing. Like maybe if I'm like trying to do something specifically creative, I could try to do that. But like when it's a predetermined thing like that, or like there's embroidery patterns that you can follow, I feel like stuff like that is nice because it's just like I can just do this and it's fun, but I don't have to think about it.
I don't know. I also don't think of myself as a creative person, but like I Photoshop a lot of stuff, and
That's
most of it is just memes. But like I've gone through like I just looked through like man, I've been photoshopping for like the past 4 years, and I have like hundreds of images I've made. And like all of it's really silly, but it's like that took some effort to do, and like some are quite funny. So
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. A good time. I still want Adam to write more.
Yeah, I actually just wrote 2 short stories recently, so I have been. It's hard to motivate myself to write, but then also there's not a lot of time. But I've been trying recently, especially to like if I get a burst of creativity, then I drop what I'm doing and write, and I figure out how to make it up later because I want to like try to make myself do it.
I
So
love
it's
that.
been successful. 2 stories recently.
very
I love
nice.
So the ultimate goal is Adam makes a little story, or not a story, but I guess like a compilation of all the short stories, and Ryan makes the cover of the book.
Be like Dr. Seuss.
It would be a really weird compilation. There's definitely a lot of different genres amongst the short stories I've written.
I feel like I've only ever read slightly spooky ones. There was the one
Yeah.
like action, like superhero-y one.
Yes, well, because the ones when I had you read them, I went through like a phase of like
Spooky.
creepy. But I've been trying recently to like experiment with other different types of stuff. So now I have different
I like it.
genres, I guess.
That's
Very
exciting.
nice.
I love that. Oh, that's fun.
I was gonna say I was reading about Dr. Seuss recently, just as a short little side note.
Wild dude.
I didn't know he used to do like political cartoons, and like it's in the exact same style as his children's books,
Oh,
which is interesting.
That's
And
good.
even weirder, this is a fun Google search, is look up Dr. Seuss midnight paintings. He like painted hundreds of just paintings, like just all sorts of weird stuff. Like there's one where it's like a painting of cats, and it's just like 100 like cats on a painting, and it's all really colorful. Some of it's
Yeah.
interesting because like he does like a self-portrait of himself where it's like him as the cat in the hat, and he's like very depressed looking, and there's like tons of different like he'll have like some of his characters, but they're just like in a different setting. But it's really interesting because a lot of them are like sort of darker, and others are like really colorful and humorous. But he painted them all like right before his death, and like wouldn't like have them released until after he died. There's some
That's
good
a power
paintings. Yeah.
Yeah. No one can see these till I die. Oh, brother.
definitely. I've Google searched it. Definitely would recommend.
Yeah.
There's, especially the political cartoons, just because it's funky. But the
Yeah.
painting is really interesting too.
For sure.
Also, Dr. Seuss was a little racist.
Oh, super racist. That's what I thought you were going with in the beginning. I was like,
That's
yeah.
true too. But some of his paintings are cool.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
talking about creepy stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's fair. Okay. This one I want to get y'all's thoughts on it. Is this self-care? Make something from scratch that you would normally buy, like pasta, popcorn, dumplings, pizza, pickles, or a fancy dessert.
I can see it being self-care for some people. I don't think I would enjoy it.
Fair.
It seems like a lot of work
Mhm.
to like you just made your own ramen recently, right?
I did, yeah. It was fun. I don't know if I'd call it self-care. I was a little stressed, but
Yeah, that's what.
I think the end result was self-care because it was delicious and it was really fun. And I was like, I did that. That's cool. But the process was very stressful and I didn't feel cared for.
Yeah, that's what. Like I get stressed out just making recipes I haven't made before. If I had to make all the ingredients from scratch too, I would be a wreck.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't know. I might be weird, but like I always try to make stuff I've not made before.
Mhm.
But also like I've been watching this YouTube channel called Binging with Babish. Like he got popular off of Reddit. He's pretty
Yeah.
good. It's just he has a series called Basics, and I feel like it is like from a like someone that cooks standpoint, it's probably very interesting and very good. But from like a me standpoint who like follows directions like to a T, it's like this is so not helpful because he like breaks everything down. Like, all right, we're gonna make a pasta. Here, we're gonna like actually make the pasta. You need to make this dough and let it sit overnight. And it's like, okay, we're gonna make this sauce that requires like 100 different ingredients and probably costs like $1,000. It's like that's neat, but not very practical.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a similar channel. It's like Julian Salamita, and he had like a lot of cooking things. I don't think he posts much anymore, but it's basically like he calls it Aries Kitchen, because he's like the whole chaotic Aries thing. You would get it. You're an Aries. But,
Aries things.
Yeah, just Aries things. Oh my god, but it's yeah, he's very very chaotic and like such a mess in the kitchen, and like everything's like coming together so fast and everything, and it's like fascinating to watch because you're like, wow, this looks delicious in the end, but also how would you do? I don't know.
I don't want to spend 3 days making a pasta.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, this is one that I really like. It's a happiness jar. Yeah. And it's basically if there's something that makes you like genuinely happy, writing it down, putting it in a jar so you can look back on it and be like, wow, look at that. I like that. I'm happy.
I was going to say, I have a happiness jar where I throw my extra change, and then when I go through and be like, oh, I've got like $75 in here, I get very happy.
Like, I have my happiness jar and it's my bank account. When it's got positive money, I'm happy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I did that for like a whole year though, where it was like every day I wrote something that made me happy for the day. I did that for all of 2018 and it was very nice. Because I was like, wow, there were things. And like some of them were like stupid little things where it was like, I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'm sure it was like, pet my cat today. Like some of them were like little things like that, but some of them were like bigger and like more monumental because like that's, the year that I graduated high school and went to college and everything. So some of them were more like, big things where it was like, that matters.
Yeah.
Not that petting my cat doesn't matter. Of course it matters.
Of course. Just as important as everything else.
Yeah. But, yeah.
I think that sounds like fun though.
Yeah.
Because it also like, I think a lot of times, like each day there is stuff, hopefully, that make you happy. But it can be a lot of like little things. And you might not notice it if you're not thinking about it. So like if you're like, I'm knowing that I want to write something down. And you might be like, oh, this very small occurrence made me happy. And I probably wouldn't have even noticed it made me happy if I wasn't thinking about it.
Exactly. And I think that that's such a way to like change your outlook on things. Like it's not gonna like cure depression.
No.
But it's like it's something that it can help you have a more positive view of situations, which is nice. That's good. Yeah.
I think even just like taking time to look back, like humans are always changing, and then just stuff that you've done in the past. Like I was looking back the other day, like I was looking through my meme stuff, like the things I photoshopped, and I've been like, I'm really hard on past Ryan because like, oh, why would you do this? This isn't funny, or like, oh, this looks terrible. And like, I don't know, future Ryan will probably be upset with this Ryan right now of like whatever he's doing. But like, it's just good to look back and be like, man, I've really done so much stuff, even though like it doesn't feel like it sometimes. Even just thinking back to like some of the stuff I did senior year, like I did quite a bit of stuff. I was involved in a ton of things. I was thinking that, and I was saying in class one day, I was like, man, I'm so bored. And I was like, man, remember like senior year? What happened?
Oh my god. Wait, we should talk about that real quick. I want to dive into that thought. Like, forget self-care. What do you guys think about like your past selves? That sounds like a way more interesting topic.
Like what about it? Just general thoughts about it?
Let's just talk about that. How have you grown? What have you changed? What do you like? What do you dislike?
Well, I always feel like past Ryan is very naive, which like, he doesn't know everything. I know everything now because I'm from the future and it's great here. But yeah, I always am like, dang, past Ryan didn't know anything. And future Ryan will be like, dang, this Ryan didn't know anything either. So
Hmm. I think that's fair. Yeah.
I also think we're harder on ourselves. Like we notice our flaws more.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I think that's big. Yeah. I don't know. I think I was really angry. And I'm not saying I'm not angry now because I know that I am, but I think I've worked on it. And that's one of those things where it's like, I grow and like hopefully mature more and like get a rein like on your emotions and figure those out. And I'm, haven't figured everything out because why would I? I'm 21. um, but it's like I think that that's one of those interesting things is to like look back and it's like I was in, you know, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and it's a super tiny town, and it's like it's hard to look outside of yourself, I guess, in that sense, because you're like so there's so few people, and so it's so like focused on like it's so focused on yourself, I guess, when you're in a small community like that. And so like going away to college and then now also not living in a small town, even away from college, like it's nice. And you're able to like, become a more outward person. And I think that also has to do with not being a teenager anymore. Because I think teenagers are
Mhm.
inherently like self-centered. But
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I feel like that's a big thing is I look towards others more than at myself. But
yeah.
yeah.
I also think Pass Ryan was really pretentious. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
think back to every
So
movie I saw, like it was like, oh man, this movie's terrible. It's got so many flaws in it. And now it's like, yeah, there's definitely some things in the media I don't like Game of Thrones, for example. But for the most part, like I'll see something be like, yeah, that probably wasn't great, but like I enjoyed this, I enjoyed this, I enjoyed this. And it's more like, did I enjoy the movie? Not necessarily that the movie made sense, but that I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
that's big. I know
That's
that all
been
of us have done the whole hating things because they were popular things when we were little. So
I was gonna say, particularly for movies, that's been a thing for me recently. Of like, there's a YouTube channel called Cinema Wins, which is kind of dedicated to that. Where like, if you enjoy a movie, that's all that matters. And
Mhm.
you might maybe like, you shouldn't pick apart movies, be like, oh, this was bad. Like, I know this sounds hypocritical of us since we did that to Star Wars, but
Yeah.
and I still do that all the time. But I definitely try to be like, even if I might not have enjoyed it, someone did, and it's got good parts, and there were still things that I enjoyed. So like I shouldn't be like, man, this movie sucks and downgrade it. And I because a lot of YouTube channels like base their channel around that concept of just picking apart movies, and I there's like kind of a pull towards those things, but I try to stay away from that because I know that's a little toxic to go into movies looking like that when really it's all about enjoyment,
Yeah.
and that's all that matters.
I think that that's huge too. There was this like tweet I saw the other day, and it was so honestly true. It was like being in your 20s is liking all the same things you liked when you were 13, but not being embarrassed about them this time. And I think that that's huge. Is it's like it's I think people embracing their interests more.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, that's a big point. Is to just there's something you can enjoy in every like piece of media, I think.
Yeah.
Like even Rise of Skywalker, it was really bad, but there were some cool fight
There's
scenes.
some there
Mhm. Yeah.
There was that
there's some
one.
okay fight scenes. There's some really good visual background stuff.
I
Yeah.
really like the slug. For
I
like 2 minutes,
Yeah.
but I eat. I love how Lando is in it. I think he was in it the perfect amount.
Yes.
That's yes.
Yeah. See, we can even be positive about.
Mhm.
That means anyone can be positive about any movie ever.
Exactly. And
Oh,
even
God.
like on a more meta like thing, people are more attracted to negative things, it seems like. I remember I watched a video by like a guy that like reviews video games, and all of his videos that were like trashing a game got way more views than anything he did like
Mhm.
praising a game. And it's just that like people are more attracted to something that they like, I guess, hate rather than enjoy. I don't know why that is, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some weird fascination on YouTube with people looking for like videos tearing apart things. And I guess there's that aspect of like if you watch something and you don't like it, you want justification for why you didn't like it, so you seek out some reason to better explain than you probably could. But then there's also people of like, oh, just because this is popular, someone must have a video tearing it apart.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case. Like I was watching Jenny Nicholson, I think her name is, and she had a video about Avengers Endgame, and she talked about it a lot, about how like people wanted her to make an Endgame video tearing it apart, and she's like, I enjoyed it. I don't really have a lot. There's like a few critiques, sure, but I don't need to make a video every time something popular comes out talking about how bad it is. You can just enjoy things.
She's someone that I love so much because I do think that all of her critiques are like honest critiques. Because also within all of her lists of disliking things, she has things she likes.
Yeah, even Rise of Skywalker, she was like, I did like this part.
And it's really lovely. But that's also interesting because I was having this conversation like a year or two ago with someone about like negative versus positive things, is because he's really fantastic at describing things he hates, whether it be like an object, a movie, a person. Like he can come up with like a billion descriptors for it, but if it's like something or like someone he likes, he can't. Like he's so terrible at it, and he's like, I think it's because I'm like not afraid to say anything about the negative thing because I don't like it, but like if it's a positive thing, then I have to actually like pick my words. But that probably plays into it with those types of videos too. Yeah. A more serious ending. But
Yeah. I think it's just
one.
Yeah, I think it's just better to spend more time enjoying things rather than spending that time being like, oh, I hate that. I mean, there is also some enjoyment from hating things. Like, we were talking, like, I think before the podcast, about, like, the movie The Room. It's not a great movie, but, like, you can enjoy how bad it is sometimes.
But yeah, but you're still enjoying it. It's still an enjoyable experience, even if you're, like, making fun of it the whole time, because it's still fun.
And there's also, like, a balance between disliking things, like, too much.
Yeah.
I guess, like, because
and I would like disliking things specifically because other people like them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's a dumb teenager thing. Stop doing it right now. There's a TikTok thing going around right now because sometimes I see TikToks and it's like phases all girls should skip, and they'll like say something about but phases all teenagers should skip. Just like because they're popular. But no, I think that also it's just like even if it's like a really, really terrible movie, like a lot of work went into it, you know? Like the actors, the writers, the director, the like producer, the editors, like there's so many things going into stuff like that it's like even if it's bad, there's like an amount of respect that you should have for it. And like don't tear down like actors just because they had a bad script or something, you know? Like don't tear down the writers just because like it came together poorly. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like it's like you can be like there's plot holes and that's kind of dumb, but don't be like those writers should die. Like yeah. Oh my god. Ooh, also don't hate on actors for playing characters. That's a thing.
It's just their job.
These past few years, the like most notable time that I can remember is that 13 Reasons Why dude, who was the rapist in like all of the seasons, and people were like hating the actor, and they were like, "You're the scum of the earth," and he's like, "I didn't do that. It was a character."
That was a big thing with Game of Thrones back in the day too. There's some pretty mean characters.
Be nicer to people. That's a self-care tip. Will probably make you happier. Oh my god. Okay, quick good news, and then we'll do a rain on our parades. So vaccines. They're like there's a lot of them now, and that's exciting. It's looking like June for when we'll get that 80%. There's been some days, and this has not been true of every day because I fact checked this, but some days more vaccines are given than cases reported.
That's good.
That's exciting.
That's good.
Not true of every day, but sometimes that's true. That's exciting. That's like a woo when it happens. Related to vaccines, Facebook has started banning vaccine misinformation. Whether they actually follow through on that or not, I don't know, but they said they will. So, that's fun. The trial finished for Trump. It did not go well, but at the same time, some things were good. Such as the beginning of it, which was like a hard jump to get over, was whether or not like the Senate considered it constitutional, and they voted that it was constitutional to impeach him.
Yep.
Yeah, he got acquitted, and that's sad, but it was constitutional to be like, hey, you can't just do anything your last few days of office. So that's good. Also, for that means certain Republicans broke party lines, which we like.
Yes. Good for
I
them.
have a growing respect for Mitt Romney, which makes me happy, but also upset, because I do have somewhere in life, if I didn't get rid of it, a too legit for Mitt shirt from the Mitt Romney Obama election.
That's really funny.
It turns out Mitt is too legit for Republicans right now. That's exciting. He's been breaking party lines all over the place. I'm proud of him. Yeah, but so that's some good news. That's all I could find. I'm sure there's other good news in the world, but that's just what I could find. Yeah. But alright, well, Rainer, yours is great.
I don't know. That's a good
Yeah,
question.
I don't know anything. I mean, just generally, school has been stressful.
Oh yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah. It is cold. I don't like having to get food and like go outside. That's not fun. But in good news, I have a plant now.
You have a plant?
Hey.
Plant. It's not doing too hot right now. I've been watering him, but he's like sort of sagging. So.
How much are you watering him? What type of plant is it?
Once a week. It's a spider plant.
That
so
should be fun.
Try to like put it by the window.
Yeah.
But he's just taking some time to adjust.
That's fair. That's so exciting. I love plants.
Mm-hmm.
Wish I could have them without my cat murdering them. That'll be a future problem. But yeah, that's a good thing. We love plants. Yeah. Oh my god. Did you say school, Adam?
Yeah, it's the teachers really love to like not care what other teachers do. So they're like, you can do all this work for just my class. But coupled with everything else you got going on, it's like, oof. But then I think the greater stress is I have a legal writing class, and the teacher is all right, but there will be times where it's like, someone just asked you a question and you really didn't answer it at all. And I'm just more confused than I was before the question was asked.
Yeah.
And it happens very often. I was like, I really need this explained. Thank you, person, for asking a question. And I'm just more confused than I was before.
Oh, I hate that. That's fair. Yeah. I've had like 3 breakdowns over the past week about just like where I'm going to law school.
Yeah.
That's rating on my grade. You guys know this. I've been texting you about it. But, yeah, it's just scary. I'm bad at choices, especially life choices. Also, especially small choices. I'm bad at choices. So that's where I've been doing. That was a sentence. Yeah, I'm interested. I've gotten into a few, and we'll see. I like the programs at everywhere because there's not vastly different programs anywhere, to my knowledge. I know that some law schools have like wildly different things, but like at least to the ones that I've looked at, they're all, pretty basic because the law doesn't change too much. So, it's just one of those things of figuring out how they'll like help with jobs. But we'll see.
It is stressful. Decisions are always hard.
I don't like it. I think it should stop.
Really should just never be forced to ever make a decision.
Mm-mm. Oh my god.
Free choice or free will, who needs it?
No. I've been. So I was talking to like one of my friends about that because it was like, we have another friend who is so like stubborn and who won't like bend on things, and it's like, that's fine for things like when I don't want to make a choice, but like sometimes I do want to make a choice, and you're like, stop that. I want to make the choice. But then like, this is one of those times where I'm like, well, if that friend could just tell me where to go, then we'd be fine. Yeah, that's not how life works. But yeah, I don't know. Choices are hard. That's what's raining on my parade. It's just choices. It's not even law school. I like all the law schools. I'm excited to go to law school, as excited as one can be to go to law school. But choosing is not fun. Yeah.
What about you, Ryan?
You guys play?
Not much, though. I've definitely had that thought of like, dang, you know, I'm getting close to the end of college here, and like, I don't know. A lot of things can happen. A lot of choices I can take going forward, so we'll see. It's just that like realization of like, oh dang, you know, my choices are really gonna start mattering now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you can both move to the East Coast. We can all collectively purchase an apartment complex that only we and our friends can live in.
The dream.
And then we just exist in a not culty but kind of culty way, and it'll be great. That's one thing I've been thinking about, is like, if that actually happened, because that's something I joke about a lot with like all my friends. I'm like, this is something I want. It sounds like a cult. I don't mean it like a cult, but it sounds like a cult.
We can have a giant bonfire.
Right? It's bringing it back to a conversation that wasn't on this podcast.
Oh, never mind. Margot doesn't like bonfires. She thinks they're creepy.
They can be creepy. I feel like any giant thing, like a giant fire, can be creepy. If you make anything giant, it can be creepy. That's what
Very true.
Attractions are creepy. Oh my god. But yeah, don't join cults, but do practice self-care. If cults are your self-care, I don't know what to say other than reevaluate. Sunny Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.